Hello, my name is Sandy Goehring, and I'm a digital learning coach for Keep Indiana Learning. I hope you've been with me from the start of this MTSS series, but if not, welcome. I have been giving a brief overview of the MTSS process and how to provide different supports for your learners. I did a brief overview of the framework and jumped right into looking at the different tiers. I started with Tier 1 and the core curriculum instruction, then moved to Tier 2 where we upped the frequency and intensity of the evidence-based interventions. Now we are getting ready to look at the final tier, Tier 3. During this short time, I will follow the same steps as before, getting a better understanding of Tier 3, ideas for creating a strong tier, next steps, and finally some reminders. You will be able to find this infographic at keepindianalearning.org, as well as linked in the comments of this video. So let's go ahead and get started. What is Tier 3? Well, Tier 3 is the highest point of the MTSS pyramid. It should be the smallest group of your population, though, with only 3 to 5% on a Tier 3 plan. These are the most at-risk, unidentified learners. Interventions are similar to the other tiers. However, they are normally delivered in even smaller groups or one-to-one settings. And the key is that the intensity and the frequency is upped even more. These learners will get interventions even more frequently and at a greater intensity than Tier 2. They will, however, still participate in core instruction. Here are a few tips for creating a strong Tier 3. Look at several data points when creating your plan. Make sure the data is showing specific areas that are challenging for the student. Try not to focus on all the skills and areas that are difficult. Consider the whole child when determining those interventions. Does this student need behavior support interventions? Is this what's making it difficult for them to understand what's being read? Also, if the area that needs growth is a behavioral skill, make sure the goal is in that area. Lastly, make sure the progress monitoring aligns to the plan. It needs to be completed frequently and should be closely related to the area of focus. Data is very important in Tier 3. I will quickly talk about how to determine if a student transitions out of MTSS is needed. First, the plan must have been followed with fidelity. If a qualified educator was not able to complete the intervention with frequency and that upped intensity, then the student needs to spend more time in Tier 3 and be given an opportunity to demonstrate growth. The student has to have adequate time on the plan. Generally, this is 4 to 6 weeks. If the student still isn't showing growth, then the next step is to determine if the child will be referred for special education evaluation. Lastly, here are some reminders about Tier 3. A common mistake in making Tier 3 is making it look like special education. It is different, and the child should not be receiving SPED services or those types of interventions. Just remember, if a child is not showing growth at this tier, they may be referred for an evaluation. Then, if the child qualifies, their instruction needs to be different than what they were receiving before. Next, my big one, parents, guardians. They are so important at this tier. Many times the parent is invited to the Tier 3 meeting. If not, they should receive a Tier 3 letter along with the plan. I like to have a member of the team contact the parent via phone and discuss it with them so that they have a clear understanding of what's happening. And finally, like I said before, think outside of the box. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick trot through the tiers. Each one has its own characteristics, and it is so important in helping students meet their highest potential. If you would like more information on MTSS, be sure to check out the MTS category on Keep Indiana Learning. Also, while you're there, make sure you look at all of the other resources. There's so much that you can gain from that website. And make sure you connect with me at Sandy Goehring on Twitter. Next time will be our final part of the series. We will briefly talk about a few more reminders and then discuss some ideas for incorporating technology into your process. I will see you next time. Bye bye.